Dear ones, with love and light we speak about the shifting energies of evolution now awakening many to a deeper reality. Silently and secretly continue holding fast to your highest level of awareness, allowing it to guide your actions and open you to more. Each day, as more souls awaken to the truth about themselves and others, more high vibrational light is being added to the collective consciousness, which in turn is beginning to manifest in the world as the desire in mankind for higher and better forms of government, health, and spirituality. People are beginning to see and accept that there are indeed better ways of doing almost everything. The chaos you are witnessing is not the ending of anything real, but rather reflects the labor pain necessary for birthing a new world consciousness. Lifetimes lived in energies of duality and separation have resulted in a universal consciousness that is ingrained with illusory concepts, believes that materiality is all there is, and that unless something can be seen or touched, it isn't real. Actually, many of your scientists are already well aware that what is perceived through the senses as material is in reality energy. There is much to come that we cannot yet share with you because our job and that of other higher dimensional beings is guide you in your free will choices, rather than make them for you. Stay in the now moment as best you can, living your highest awareness in every activity of the day. In reality, you only can live in the now moment because nothing else exists. Many are discovering that life becomes much easier when lived this way. You are the actual substance of everything real, the very essence of divine consciousness individualized, appearing as form. Therefore you are now and always have been the very substance of wholeness, completeness, abundance, joy, peace, harmony, etc., etc. ID is what you are made of. You are not a physical body with a little spiritual light bulb inside, but are the fullness of divine light manifesting on earth through the density required for living in three-dimensional energy. The only thing that separates a person from experiencing their already present wholeness is the belief that they are separate from its creators, perfectly creating lack and limitation in all its forms. There is no judgment about this because mankind has been subjected to the denser energies for eons of time, during which it became necessary to create a system that would enable them to survive. This outdated system is what mankind is now struggling to evolve beyond, because you are creators no longer ignorant of the deeper truths. You must live your awareness rather than continuing to cling to what has worked in the past. Otherwise, you will simply continue creating and experiencing the same old three-dimensional problems and wonder why. Ever-increasing frequencies of light at this time are allowing creations to manifest ever more quickly. At a certain point, it is no longer necessary to keep looking for old programming and faults to clear, because when you begin to live as light and truth, those higher frequencies automatically dissolve the lower resonating energies within and without. This realization removes the need for protective work, as is taught in metaphysics, because your consciousness of light is your protection. Lower resonating energy cannot enter into the higher, as there is no alignment, but this truth must be realized, rather than seen as just another tool for protecting from something outside of self. Free will is a universal spiritual will, allowing every individual to make whatever choices they wish. No one is coming to save anybody or to do the work for you. There is no old man in the sky watching and waiting for a person to be good enough. Saviors represent the grand illusion created over time by the suffering of the unaware hope born from a belief in separation. No guru, priest, holy man, technique, or teaching is ever or can ever save you from your own free will choices. These things can be powerful tools alerting you to your personal belief system, but only you can make the changes. Living spiritually does not mean throwing your hands in the air at every negative appearance while shouting, "God is all," and then doing nothing. Declaring absolute truth before attaining the consciousness of it is to pretend a state of consciousness not yet attained, very three-dimensional activity. This often happens with serious spiritual students, teachers, and channelers, etc., who falsely believe they must never let others see them as having human issues or problems, in the false belief that it would make their work invalid. Never pretend a state of consciousness not yet attained. If you have a cold, accept it for what it is. If you have a problem, simply look deeper, but don't deny it. Non-resistance is a core facet of spiritual living. Living spiritually means going about the normal activities of each day, making decisions and performing tasks, but in a way that reflects an inner awareness of the divine nature of every individual and the truth that underlies appearances. Go within often, recognizing the reality of everything: nature, business, people, government. Eventually, the truths you practice become your attained state of consciousness, and you automatically live them without conscious effort. They become you. An example of this is honesty. At this point in your journey, you are simply never tempted to steal. Honesty has become your attained state of consciousness, and no effort is needed to be honest. Another person may be tempted, but holds back because he has intellectual knowledge regarding the rightness of honesty, even if it is fear of the law. There are those who will take every advantage to steal with no remorse because their state of consciousness holds only concepts of separation. One of the biggest issues troubling the third-dimensional collective is lack of money, resources, information, etc. Praying for these things only creates them because you create your belief system, and if your state of consciousness is one of lack and limitation, this is what you will create. Continually telling yourself, "I don't have," allows you to perfectly create experiences of don't have. When you attempt to change something from a place of resistance or solve problems on the level of the problem, you empower them. Conditions of rich and poor equally represent duality, neither having anything but the belief in them to hold them in place, which means they are subject to changing very quickly. Spiritual abundance is held infinitely in place by divine law and flows from the realization of I have because I am. This is the higher way of understanding abundance, a state of consciousness that realizes money to be the material form of self-sustained / self-maintained completeness, will manifest it outwardly and often through unexpected avenues, but knows it is never from them. Pay your bills in the realization that because of oneness, you are simply moving forms of infinite energy from your right hand to your left. Let objects, money, goods, flow freely through you in the realization that they are flowing from an infinite source within and not from you personally, where you can be depleted. Lack is like a person having a large bank account somewhere that they do not know about, and so continue living life as a pauper while their money lies waiting. Know that you are the very substance from which dollar bills are formed. Abundance is not just money. It is wholeness and completeness in all its forms, and you can never be separate from it, no matter how hard you may try. Know that wherever your personal financial abundance seems to come from, job, family, husband or wife, inheritance, it really does not come from these things, but rather through them as your own state of